the quiet, luxurious garden of the palace, while the swans and the lazy flight of the birds glide slowly toward the water's edge. The tuneful melody of English music, destined to become a favourite of many, dances delicately to the ears of a red-haired giant of a man. That man was King Henry VIII. His palace on the banks of a rural River Thames takes us back 500 years to an age both colourful and unforgettable even to a schoolboy who knows the 6 wives of an ebullient king of the 16th century. In 1514, Thomas Wolsey, Archbishop of York and Chief Minister of Henry VIII, spent 200,000 gold crowns to build the finest Cardinal's Palace in England. He hoped to show foreign embassies that Henry's chief minister could live as graciously as any cardinal in Rome. But by 1528, Cardinal Wolsey faced his downfall with the king and gave the palace to Henry as a gift before he died 2 years later. Within 6 months, Henry began his own rebuilding and expansion. Henry's court numbered over 1,000 people, so to convert Hampton Court into a principal residence, he first built the vast kitchens, quadrupled in size by 1529. This was followed by addition of the Great Hall, the last medieval Great Hall built for the English monarchy. Here the king would dine in state, seated at a table upon a raised dais. The hall took 5 years to complete. So impatient was the king for completion that the masons were compelled to work throughout the night by candlelight. Nearly 3 years after Jane Seymour died at Hampton Court in 1537, Henry married Anne of Cleves on the 6th of January 1540. But even then, things did not always go according to plan.
Well, now this is slightly more for me. As I said, I am a lady-in-waiting to Anne of Cleves. I am part of the Howard family. You'll have heard of us, I'm sure.
It's very sensible and pertinent to smile back at the king and to flirt back a little and to humour him, so to speak. For when his attention wanders, as indeed it must, he is likely to reward you as he has done to ladies in the past with money, with dresses, with land. All of these things will mean that I will become a viable option for somebody to marry. And I've chosen a gentleman friend, a Master Thomas Culpepper. Do Do any of you know of him? Ladies, he has quite the reputation. I have to say, he's a little bit of a rogue, but I cannot resist the rogue. He's very tall, very dashing, with dark hair, and, well, it's been said, not by him, admittedly, but by many other people, that he intends to marry me one day. I'm sure any moment now he will ask the question, but he's not done so yet.
You will find Master Culpepper lounging in the sun somewhere in the corner. Present that to him and tell him that it comes from me, Catherine Howard.
And you are part in this, sir, delivering letters to that good-for-nothing Thomas Culpepper?
What is it? Thank you, sir. Does that say I recommending unto you?
Orderly.
Oh, I knew it! Well, look here, look. Yours as long as life endures. She's only young, so she's tie this up, tie it up. Yes, my Lord King!
Tom, is that a letter?
No, where? What letter? No.
Tom,
Yes?
is that news from the convocation?
This?
Possibly. You don't know, do you?
No, we don't know. No.
Mary Rise.
I do not think it is. I think it is just it's boring, really. I think. I don't.
Well, let me see it.
Oh, Your Grace, you're probably awfully busy. Perhaps.
Tom, if it is news from the convocation, I want to know. Why are you playing with me like this? Stop it, Tom, and show it to me. Now!
Insist, my Lord King.
Didn't think I would have to insist with you, Tom. Thought you knew your place. There, you can hold this.
Thank you, my Lord King.
It is not from the convocation.
Oh, is it not? Oh. Wonder who it could be from.
Well, I don't know who it's addressed to. It just says, "My dear love." I heartily recommend me unto you, praying you do send me word how you do. It was shown me that you were sick. Well, I am the only one I know who has been ill of late. You don't think she has written this to me, do you? It is to me. I must read this again now I know what it is and away from all of you.
Make way for the King! Make way! Make way! Make way!
I have your letter! The letter!
The letter, yeah.
I could not believe it when I read it. It is most wonderful, the expression of your feelings for me.
You!
Most wonderfully
Of
written.
course, for you, of course. Of course.
Kat, you must know, I feel exactly the same about you. I reciprocate all your feelings 1,000-fold.
I find myself speechless. Grace.
Perhaps then later we can talk together. I see that you ill fortune I have that I cannot always be in your company.
But I know you are very busy, Your Grace, and I would not distract you.
I have business, of course, because I am king. I will get Tom to come and see you.
Oh, yeah, very good. Good idea, Your Grace.
If you command it, I will come and see you.
This is going next to my heart. I have the business to attend to. You have something, Mary? Let us get it done then. Tom, come and meet me in 10 minutes after I've dealt with Mary.
Very well, my King.
10 minutes.
No longer.
I want this work done as quickly as possible. She loves me!
She loves you!
But there were parts of Hampton Court which over a century later were built by Sir Christopher Wren on the order of King William III. The King's Privy Chamber was one such, and was the main ceremonial room in the palace. Here court functions were held and ambassadors were received. After a great fire in 1986, this room and several others had to be reconstructed. 17th century tapestries lined the state bedchamber, which has the original bed of 1715. This was where the king was dressed each morning after emerging from his little bedchamber, where he actually slept. In 1705, the orangery was intended to serve as a greenhouse for exotic plants to spend the winter. To the north of the palace, the interior decoration reflects the orangery's other use as a summer supper house and a place of entertainment. The King's Guard Chamber was where the yeomen of the guard watched over the King's safety. Here is a large collection of arms that include muskets, bayonets, pistols and swords. On the wall are carvings by Grinling Gibbons. In this part of the palace are more of the rooms of George III, his private drawing room, and next to this the candlelit rooms where the king dined in private. Decorated with tapestries are connections looking back to the life of Henry VIII, who took this palace as his own. Priceless decorations and silverware in the banqueting hall, being serviced from the kitchens which Henry VIII had built overlooking the fountains and gardens of his home and palace. Hampton Court Palace, one-time home of the king who lived, loved, married 6 times and wrote one of England's most loved songs over 500 years ago.